Well, after the madness that was the last two, the madness that was episode 10, we logically get these episodes. I mean, I get it, it was the mid-season finale, and so I think they took a break in between, so I guess it makes sense to kind of come back with something light and funny, and, yeah. Um, this is a weird one. Okay, so this is Amphibia, this is episode 11A, Grubhog Day. Yeah, I immediately thought of the Bill Murray movie, and I thought we were gonna be introduced to something like magic related, and like maybe like Anne or Sprig or like someone was gonna be repeating the days again. I thought it was gonna be I thought that's what it was gonna be, the Groundhog Day kind of thing. But no, it's not. The people, I mean, Wartwood celebrates Grubhog Day. It's kind of like Groundhog Day. Instead of a groundhog coming out of a stump, it's a grubhog that comes out of the stump and predicts the weather. And of course, Anne's like, "Oh yeah, we have that in our world." So yeah, and what's interesting though is they have a celebration and they have this carnival, and Sprig is really really excited to get on all the rides, and so is Anne and Polly. But then Hop Hop shows up and says that the person who was going to introduce the Grubhog was Eden, I think, or maybe I'm thinking of another episode. I don't know. Yeah, actually, yes. I mean, either way, pretty much Sprig ends up having to present the Grubhog, and so Hop Hop said that they needed someone to introduce it, and so Sprig was that, and Sprig agrees, even though he really doesn't want to do it. But the only reason why he agreed to it is because he wanted to. He saw that Hop Hop was really really excited about him doing this, because apparently the last time the planters did it, did they say they said, oh no, yeah, they said that the last time a planter was in charge of the Grubhog, they ate it. It's like, yeah, they said he got hungry and then he just ate the Grubhog. And I'm like, that's what the freaking heck. So obviously another reason. So that's kind of another reason why Sprig is pressured into doing it, is because he knows that if he doesn't, then he's kind of diminishing the name even further, and so he wants to redeem the name. And yeah, and I'll just say it, this Grubhog that they have, take Waddles from Gravity Falls, mix it with this, I want to say a kind of like a caterpillar, and then dip the head, and like, so take Waddles' head, put it on a caterpillar, and then take the caterpillar and dip the head into chocolate. That's what this Grubhog is. I could not possibly give a better description of that. I mean, seriously, because the face is literally chocolate brown with the pig, and it looks like a pig, and then the rest of the body is literally like a caterpillar, and it's so weird, but it's so funny. I mean, it spits acid too. That was kind of creepy. But Sprig is obvious. Sprig is bored out of his mind, but Anne finds a loophole, kind of, I guess, is the fact that she says how, like, wait, your job is to keep an eye on this thing, right? And they're like, yeah. And so and then Anne's like, well, why don't we bring it with us to the carnival? That way we're constantly watching this thing, right? You, yeah. I mean, you could probably guess what happens when they do that. They do. There are a lot of fun moments. I'll give it that. Like they face paint the thing. They do some ride. They go on some rides with it. They although it all goes to heck when they go on the roller coaster and they end up losing. They end up losing it. It's such an effed up way to go. Well, okay, let me rephrase that. It's such an effed up way how they lose it. So they're on the roller coaster with it, and there's a bump, and they accidentally hit a bump on the ride, and that causes them to drop the grub hog. And so they think, okay, well, look at this. The tracks are right next to each other when we come back around, so we can just grab it. So they come back around, they're going to grab it, but then this giant vulture bird monster thing swoops in and snatches it up. And yeah, part of me was like, if this was a 22-minute episode, I can see him going after it, but this is 11 minutes. They're not going after that thing, and yeah, pretty much Sprig freaks out, and they have no other choice. So it seems, yeah. So Anne improvises by making a puppet of the Grubhog, and they almost pull it off. They almost pull it off, as so episodes with this kind of plot goes. It's funny, and I will admit it's kind of funny though, because I mean, Sprig goes through, he goes through the presentation, and then they open up the stump, and Am is there with the puppet, but she's actually pretending it's like a puppet show. Like, she goes up, she actually starts acting with it. She even starts beating up Sprig with it, and the audience is just loving it. Like, even the mayor is baffled by it, and he's just having a blast, and it goes more and more, and it's so funny. And it seems like the whole thing was gonna go off without a hitch, and then they say, all right, now it's time to predict the weather by cutting it open and eating it. And it's just like, okay, wait, what? And I love Anne's reaction, just like, wait, what? Because it's her hand. It's like, oh, you're gonna cut open my hand? And then I love how Anne is freaking out. It's like, you guys do this? And then Sprig's like, I thought you guys said it was the same thing, so I just assumed. I'm like, just honestly, that did put a weird image in my head. Like, what would it be like if we actually took the groundhog every year and he just ate it? That would be so messed up. But pretty much, not wanting Anne's hands to get the weirdest experience ever, Sprig confesses that he lost the Grubhog, and obviously the town is disappointed, but then Sprig admits to Hop Pop that the only reason why he did it is because he didn't want to disappoint him by saying that he didn't want to, and that he was sorry. And then Hop Pop actually apologizes to Sprig, saying that he's like, no, I shouldn't have pressured you like that. I just wanted to, I'm proud of you regardless, and seeing you did the right thing here and confessed, that's also helpful. But what's interesting is the fact that, yeah, it's like, okay, well, you ruined Grubhog Day, but you did make it entertaining with this puppet show thing. And then they build on that. They actually wrap the episode up with Anne actually giving like this grand puppet show, and like, it's so cool because it's like, Grubhog 2, the revenge, Grubhog's revenge. Like, it's like you have Grubhog with the big hand, and then you have like these finger puppets of the frogs, like, it's actually, that is kind of funny. And they're like, there we go, we're like a new tradition to the festival, pretty much. And and pretty much, yeah. It wasn't what I was expecting, as freaking usual. I gotta stop going into these episodes thinking it's gonna be one thing, but it's another. But at the same time, it's like, all right. The next episode is a good example of going in and assuming what it's gonna be, and you're not that far out of the ballpark. But oh yeah, this episode ends with. It doesn't end with them at the puppet show. They're like, too bad we lost the Grubhog. Yeah, I wonder how it's doing. And I wonder if this is coming back. So so they pan up to the sky, and then you see the bird vulture thing flying, and then the Grubhog is just sitting on top of it, and then there's the subtitles, and the Grubhog's like, thank you for rescuing me, and it's like, of course Lord Grubhog. Or, yeah, of course, my lord, we shall, our enemies shall be, it's like, what the freaking heck? I mean, if it's if we never see that Grubhog again, I get it, but I mean, I kind of want it to come back just to see what they would do. Because you leave it with that, it's like, it's kind of like the dolphin episode from Simpsons Treehouse of Horrors, you know, like you release a dolphin into the ocean, and then you have then it turns out, oh wait, that was the king of the dolphins, and now the dolphins are coming back to take over the world. Oh boy. So yeah. This is, I mean, again, this is a filler episode when you really broil it down, but I mean, still fun. It was a fun one. So, all right, that's all I got for this one. So, hope you guys enjoyed, and see you in the next one.